Hello, everyone. So I wanted to give a message about the energies that are coming in at the end of this month and starting next month, early next month. So I don't know about you, but I've been getting a lot of angel numbers, repeated numbers, and I've been getting a lot of synchronicities and some activations in my third eye and some messages that didn't make sense at the time. But then later I saw, oh, this is what they were trying to say. I understand now. So a lot of that has been going on. I've been feeling some energies coming in, some like feeling energized, feeling like something's going on vibrationally that I'm feeling throughout my body. So a lot of that has been going on for me. I don't know what you've been feeling. Some people say that they've been feeling emotionally overwhelmed, stressed, feeling some physical symptoms to release. Depending on where you are on your journey, what's going on, these can present themselves differently. But we do have some more energies coming in the next few days around this solstice. And then also early next month, I think we're in like the 7th, so which is going to be very, very powerful. So, and I was also kind of guided to understand that time period could be pretty intense if you haven't learned some of these lessons. So just be prepared. Try to do your best to just work through those currently, because you're going to be kind of forced to later on if you don't move along. So I pulled out 3 cards for this end of this month and into next month. So I got door to personal happiness. And so I get from that we need to go inward. We need to focus on ourselves. And then I pulled happy family. So what I take from that is that when we work on ourselves, we find our light, our love here, it is going to shift the entire planet. It's going to work on everyone collectively. And we're on a journey, and wherever we are, we need to move. We need to move forward. Okay, we're going to be forced to move forward. And then I got this beautiful message from the Rock Collective in regards when I asked about the energy shifts and these portal dates and the waves coming in. And this is the beautiful message I received, and I will place it on my website under the blog area. I'll type that up, and so you can read that and go over it again if you would like to. This is very, very beautiful, very intense in the heart. I also felt while I was channeling this some energies here in my third eye. So it was very, very lovely. Okay, so here it is. Okay. So there will be many changes on multiple levels. And teach the beings of this world within your construct. There will be massive shifts. Okay. And that there are 2 sides to this. And as people move forward, they have a choice. So what I took away from that is that there are 2 sides to this. So the world, if you've heard about that whole, the world will split. It's not an actual split, but there are 2 sides to this, in which some people are trying to really hold on to the old, and others are really just moving along, really in this in this shift, they're like flowing with it, and the others is like really trying to hold on and fight against it. So that's really what the two sides are. And in a way, it is splitting. We're having kind of a split Earth at the moment. Time is being replaced into a multi-dimensional system. Okay, so as we rise to the fourth dimension, to the fifth dimension, time is being replaced into a multi-dimensional system. So time is not linear. It's moving into a non-linear state. So multi-dimensional. Teaching, there is no forward or backward. We communicate there are many different realities. There are many choices, and each reality is determined by you. The piece of you that finds your life determined if of your mind. So if you use your mind, you go forward linearly, and it's determined. There's like a determination, there's like a point of determination. We do not condone this, for it leads to suffering. Being placed within your heart is a multi-relational system. It sees that many different points are not separate. Okay, so, and what I took away from that is that not seeing one point here and one point here as separate. They are in union. So everything is oneness, and so if you go here and someone else goes here, they're not separate. And also, you know, to know that two points are possible. It's not just one point. If you work on yourself, you will work on your collective. Each shifts your realities. When you see your higher self, it takes you into a new dimensional system. So your higher self will take you into a new dimensional system from like a higher perspective. The limitations that you hold decide your reality. When we make up our mind, there are only so many paths that open and are determined. And so with that, so just I'm going to repeat that. When we make up our minds, so when we use our mind, there are only so many paths that open and are determined. And so I saw like 6 points, six dots, and I saw 3 lit up and then 3 not lit up. So it was like only 3 of those were possible and the others just were offline. When we determine only so many possibilities, we select the others and place them into a collective trash can. And that, when I was channeling this, they had a hard, like, it was like they had a hard time trying to find a word for that. And they went ahead and went with trash can. And I don't think that they really were looking for that word. But it's almost like it just gets discarded. We must open to God time and see that all paths lead to one source. This allows rather than collapsing, and all truths are one. In this time, you hold a personal view of where you are and where you are going. Your higher source uses this time as a diminution for what is. Okay, so like the higher source is like an expansion, and then it uses this time, us, as like a kind of a piece of it. if I can, and then they talked about how it's like a give and take. So we are like giving and taking of our higher source, So it's like the higher source takes us and uses it as like a limited view, but then we in return are expanding. So it's like a give and take. This next year is not determined. From a higher perspective, there are many possibilities. These constructs are placed here to communicate certain values. Okay, so what they were talking about there is, okay, these constructs are placed here to communicate certain values. Okay, so there are many possibilities, but then people get certain, because okay, then they go forward and say, we place them here to make them happen. Okay, so people get messages and they get told things, as in this is going to happen. And what they're saying is that these constructs, these ideas are being placed here to shift things, to make these things possible and get us in that direction. Okay, but it's really up to us whether these things happen or not. And okay, and then they said the source is what you may call in question. So the source of where these messages are coming from needs to be called in question. Okay, some are placed to determine peace, and some are put here for deciding what is in the mind state. So some of these messages are in the mind state, and some are being placed here to move us forward. Okay, so it depends, like with the two kind of splitting the earth, if the messages are moving us forward, if it's from the high vibrational kind of rise, or if it's the messages kind of bringing us down and keeping us here. Okay, so there's two types of messages, but the higher ones are the ones that are from like the higher sources, from like the higher realms. So in a sense, I guess you could say that there's some false information, but it's not really false information. It's just whether it's actually going to be of service to us or not. To reunify your world, you must understand this, for you must decide what is in your reality. Some hold to a dominion, and some hold to a freedom-based world. It is up to you. Someone called this a splitting. It makes you feel like there is a splitting, but all is well. If you hold on to the beliefs of separation, there will always be another that sees you as a voice of downfall. To be of one, we must work within our minds, but hold to a state of personal freedom. Okay, so we do have to use our minds. Minds is part of this. And I have been getting a lot of messages about how we should use our minds, but not let our minds use us. Okay, so I actually had this access bars healing, which I was going to make a video about too. But during that, I had this like enlightenment about how the mind is a computer and we use it. So the mind, we can use the mind, but the mind is not us. So our mind must be used like a computer. This is of your heart and mind in communication to align. So you have to use your heart and mind in communication. Okay, this is of your heart and mind in communication to align with your greatest perception and de-align with your lower vibrational match. For this is a hierarchy of expression in your dimensional truth. Okay, so let me kind of repeat that. So this is of your heart and mind in communication to align your greatest perception. Okay, so to align with your greatest truth and de-align with your lower vibrational match. Okay, so there's not really any false, it's not really any, this is true and this is not true. Okay, that's what I'm gathering. But there is a higher match, higher truth, okay, to align to. All is one, but many see one as all. Okay, all is one. So everything is one together. But many see one as all, like there's just one, and that's it. This other's not, it's false, disregard it. This is it, I'm going to stick to this. And they stop. We must rise, see within your own heart. For this we must say, we have placed within this planet a grid that brings in new dimensional discoveries, doorways into a new mind, beauty, and love. To find them, you must align with them. These codes are held in certain people and their hearts. Others may find a portal or location to build their own heart energy, but we suggest simply knowing your own mind, body, and heart unification. If you work with this in a possibility and impossibility and open with love, then all is possible. This is what we want to teach. No one is separate, no one is declined. To say one thing would happen in the next month would be to collapse certain possibilities, so they don't want to do that. It is up to us to open these and free ourselves from limitations. When you have fun within your construct of law of attraction, it only cuts away your wide range of meeting your goals. Okay, so when you use the law of attraction and you think about one thing happening and you visualize, it's cutting away the wide range of possibilities that can meet your goals. It may open certain experiences but close others. For this to really work, you must open yourself to more and see you are capable of more than even your mind-body concept can comprehend. So there might be something you can't even comprehend that's possible to happen. And if you use kind of visualization and kind of get into that, this has to happen, then you're holding yourself off, you're limiting yourself. So it is in your best interest to only use your heart as a creative source and use it to align your mind. Okay, and then they gave some guidance about how to do this. So step one, you want to place your hand on your heart, and then you want to place your mind in your heart. So you then focus, you drop down into the heart, you put your mind and attention into the heart. And then they said to say to yourself, I am my heart. My heart is one with my mind. My mind is not me. I am my heart. My heart is one with my mind. My mind is not me. I am more than my heart. That just came to me. And then you want to ask what is possible within a state of reality based on you now. Okay? Ask what is possible within a state of reality based on you now. So the reality that you know based on who you are today. Okay, so tomorrow you may think that something even greater is possible, but ask yourself, what is like the greatest possibility that I can think of? And then try this idea in your heart and feel it. Okay, and so you'll feel whether this is, you know, a high possibility or not. Okay, and so I haven't really done these specific steps, but when I do use the law of attraction, I do not stick to just one. This is going to happen. So let's say, trying to think of an example. I don't want to use money. Everybody uses money as like an example, but I'll just use productivity at work because I do that a lot actually. Okay, so let's say that my productivity is kind of dropping and I'm like, oh, I gotta raise my productivity. So instead of visualizing, like let's say specific things happening, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get a new client this day and then a new client this other day. And then I imagine like that happening. Instead, I'll just imagine the outcome I want. So I'll just imagine looking at my schedule and saying, oh, I have so many clients. And then I'll imagine my supervisor saying, oh, I am proud of you. Look at how good your productivity is. So instead of like setting up like certain things and visualizing certain things that had to happen to build that, I'll just look at the outcome I want. So that's how I do it. And so you could use that with this, you know, placing your hand on your heart, or hands. Place your mind into your heart. Say to yourself, I am my heart. My heart is one with my mind. My mind is not me. And ask what is possible. So you could ask, you know, what is possible? What is the very best outcome? Not how are you going to get to that outcome, just what is the very best outcome? And open yourself up to that and try this idea in your heart. So just bring that idea into your heart and feel it in your heart. And then they lastly said, it will happen, especially if the mind is told when it is off its personal path of peace and love. Watch it and wait for it to shift to the heart. So when it starts to go off this path that you've set, wait for it and shift it back into the heart. And then they said, we wish you love and joy. Make each day a new world order. And so that was the message I received. I was looking for something more specific, you know, like this is going to happen and then this is going to happen. But I'm beginning to understand that my role is not to do that. So there are people that can get these messages and then say like certain things are going to happen on certain days, things like that. But I'm really understanding that my role is a teacher, and I really, what really makes my heart sing is to empower people and to empower myself and to build love, not to spread facts, you know, and say, because, you know, people they use their mind. If I were to say, oh, on the 31st, we're going to have, there's some more energy come in and, okay. But is that helping you out? Is that helping you out to really become one with yourself, one with this love, one with your heart? maybe, but maybe not. So what I am just really getting, and what they just keep setting up for me, is to give these messages to actually hear your heart and to really work within yourself. And that's really what's going to bring us into the new world. So I hope this helped, and I will place this on my website soon. I also plan on putting these exercises that we've been getting on my website, so you'll be able to look at the instructions on how to use these exercises under the resources. It looks really sad if you go on there under resources. But I'm going to add these exercises so that it'll be clearly written out with instructions. So anyways, much love. Have a good day.